Hello everyone, I am Professor Prashant Tide from the Department of Mechanical Engineering of Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, KBTCO in Nashik. This is the second lecture of this video series of the subject Solid Mechanics. Today's topic is stress strain diagram for ductile and brittle material and Hooke's law. And then further we will solve two numericals on the topic. So again, very important, the objective summary, course outcomes and program outcomes of the subject that we have already discussed in previous lecture. So today's topic is stress strain diagram for ductile material. So now, before starting with the topic, to get that stress strain diagram, we have to conduct a tensile test onto the material, onto the ductile material in this case. So for that we will take a steel rod and on that steel rod we will conduct a tensile test. In that test we will gradually increase the load from 0 to maximum value, and at the same time we will notice or we will note down the change in length of the rod. In the previous lecture we have studied that if we are applying a tensile load onto object, then the length of the object increases. So here in this test we are applying a tensile force, so obviously the length of that rod will get increased. That increase in length we will notice after a specific interval of time. So after collecting this data we will draw a load versus extension diagram or stress versus strain diagram. So the topic is stress strain diagram for ductile material. In this diagram the main regions are elastic region, yielding region, plastic region, strain hardening, necking and failure. So one by one we will understand the meaning of each and every term. So this is a stress versus strain diagram for a ductile material. So the initial point is O, that is the origin. The next point is capital A. That point A is called as proportional limit or elastic limit. So now what is the significance of elastic limit? So understand this. Suppose from point O, means from 0 value, we are increasing the tensile load value of that material. So now A is elastic limit. So now listen carefully. Up to point A, up to elastic limit, if we are removing the load which has acted by us onto that rod, then on the removal of that load, that body will regain its original dimension. It will come back to its original shape, but only up to which point? Up to point A, that is up to elastic limit. So the main significance of elastic limit is that within an elastic limit point A, the body, that the material can regain its original shape and size on the removal of load. But after elastic limit point A, if the load is removed, then the body will do not regain its original dimension and shape. There will be some amount of permanent deformation in that object. This is the very important point. After elastic limit A, on the removal of load, the body will do not regain its original dimension and shape. There will be a permanent deformation or elongation in that object. Okay. Next point is yielding. So the first point is elastic region, next point is yielding. Now the yielding is in between point B to C. Point B is upper yield point, point C is lower yield point. So now understand the meaning of yielding. What is yielding? So you can see from the diagram that for a in between B to C, you can see the stress is decreasing, but still the strain is increasing. Beyond point B, again I am repeating, the stress is decreasing but the strain is increasing. So this is called as yielding. Up to point B or from point O to B, you can see that on the increase in stress or if we are increasing the load, the strain or the deformation is also increasing. But in yielding phase, even if the load value is increased by a short margin, but still the strain increases by a higher margin. So this is called as a yielding. Then after point C, the next point is point D, which is called as ultimate point. Ultimate point or ultimate load is the maximum load that we can apply onto that material. See, as I have said earlier, we are conducting a tensile test, and in that test the force value is increasing from 0 to maximum. That maximum value of force is nothing but your ultimate point, capital D. So point D is the ultimate load that you can apply onto a material. After point D, if the rod is circular, then the necking phenomena starts. What is necking? So in actual test also, after applying a tensile load, after applying a maximum value of tensile load, somewhere near the center of a circular rod, the diameter gets decreased as compared to the extreme diameter. So that is called as necking. Necking is the diameter at the center is very small compared to the extreme points. So this is necking. And after necking phenomena, one point comes where that circular rod breaks into two pieces. That is called as cup and cone formation. Means at point E, at fracture point, that rod will break into two pieces. So these are the 5 important points on the stress versus strain diagram for ductile material. Point O is the origin, starting point. Point A is the elastic limit. Point B and C are the upper and lower yield point. Point D is the ultimate point, and last point E is the fracture at which the rod will fail into two parts. So this is stress versus strain diagram for ductile material. Next, stress versus strain diagram for brittle material. So for that, first of all, see the left side diagram. In the left side diagram, we have drawn stress on the y-axis, strain on the x-axis, and the second diagram, right side diagram, is the combination of stress strain diagram for ductile for as well as for brittle material. Here you can see the diagram in blue color is for the brittle material like concrete, glass, and the diagram in the green color is for the ductile material like steel and aluminium. So just note down the difference between the two diagrams. For ductile material, you will see elastic point, you will see yield point, you will see cup and cone formation, necking phenomena. But in case of brittle material, see the left diagram, there the yielding is absent in brittle material. There is no elasticity in case of brittle material. You can see the left diagram. In that left diagram, the diagram is starting from point O, origin O, and the load increases, the strain also increases. But at ultimate point, that means at the fracture point, that rod, it suddenly fails into two pieces for the case of brittle material. So the brittle material do not show yielding, brittle material do not show elasticity, brittle material do not show necking formation. The main point about brittle material is that it suddenly breaks into two pieces. That is the main point for brittle material. You can just note down the difference between the two diagrams. For brittle material, it's a straight line and sudden failure, and for ductile material, elasticity, yielding, necking, ultimate point, fracture, everything is there. So this is the stress strain diagram for brittle material. Next is Hooke's law. Now what is Hooke's law? Within an elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. Now we already know about the elastic limit. What is elastic limit? It is the limit within which the body will regain its original shape and size on the removal of load. So within that elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain, and this is our Hooke's law. So mathematically, stress is directly proportional to strain. Sigma is equal to capital E into epsilon. Capital E is equal to stress upon strain, sigma upon epsilon. Whereas capital E is Young's modulus of elasticity or Young's modulus. Now we will solve one numerical on this. The statement is a wooden tie is 60 mm wide 120 mm deep and 1.5 meter long. It is subjected to an axial pull of 30 kN. The stretch of the member is found to be 0.625 mm. Find the Young's modulus for the tie material. So area of tie, we will write on the given data. Area of tie, the cross section of the wooden tie is 60 by 120. So the area becomes 7200 mm square. We will convert that into meter square. So it is 7200 into 10 raised to minus 6 meter square. Axial pull capital P is equal to 30 kilonewton, which is equal to 30,000 Newton. Now we know that stress is force upon area. So stress F is equal to P upon A, and then we will put the values of force and area, and finally the stress value is 4.167 into 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter square. Next is strain. It is change in length upon original length. The change in length is 0.625, which is already given in the numerical. Original length is 1.5 meter. So the strain value will become, after calculation, 4.167 into 10 raised to minus 4. And at the last, Young's modulus is, as per our Hooke's law, capital E is equal to stress upon strain. So stress and strain already we have calculated in the above steps. So capital E is equal to 4.167 into 10 raised to 6 divided by 4.167 into 10 raised to minus 4. So therefore, finally, the answer for Young's modulus is 10 giganewton per meter square. Next numerical. The following data refers to a tensile test conducted on a mild steel bar. Then the data is given. The diameter of the steel bar is 30 mm, gauge length is 200 mm, extension at the load of 100 kilonewton is 0.139 mm, load at elastic limit is 230 kilonewton, maximum load is 360 kilonewton, total extension is 56 mm, and at the last, diameter of rod at the failure is 22.25 mm. Now we have to calculate Young's modulus, stress at elastic limit, percentage elongation and percentage decrease in area. So again, given data, area of rod is pi by 4 d square, pi by 4 30 square, that is equal to 706.86 into 10 raised to minus 6 meter square. Young's modulus is force upon area. So it is, after calculation, the stress is 141.47 10 raised to 8 Newton per meter square. Strain is change in length. The change in length, that is extension, is given for a load of 100 kilonewton in the given data, and that is equal to 0.139. So we will substitute DL, that is change in length, is equal to 0.139. Original length, gauge length is also given, and that is equal to 200. So after putting those values, we will get the strain answer as 0.000695. Next, Young's modulus, as per Hooke's law, capital E is equal to stress upon strain. So make one correction, that is not capital E in the denominator for Young's modulus, it is small e here. So capital E is equal to stress upon strain equal to 141.47 into 10 raised to 6 divided by 0.000695 Newton per meter square. So the final value for Young's modulus is 203.55 giganewton per meter square. Now here, note down one thing, that for Young's modulus we have taken the force value as 100 kilonewton. Why? Because, yes, why? Because the strain, that is, while calculating strain, we have taken the change in length as 0.139 mm, which corresponds to a load of 100 kilonewton. So that's why we have to take the stress value corresponding to a 100 kilonewton force. So finally, the answer for Young's modulus is 203.55 giganewton per meter square. Percentage elongation is increasing length upon original length into 100. Increase in length is 56, original length is 200, so the answer is 28%. How the increase in length is 56? That is already given. Total extension is 56 mm. So therefore, the total extension, the total increase in length is 56. Percentage decrease in area is initial area minus final area divided by initial area. So the initial diameter of the rod was 30, the diameter of the steel rod 30. diameter, see the last point of the given data. Diameter of the rod at failure is 22.25. So the initial diameter is 30, final diameter is 22.25. So those values we will put here, and after calculation our percentage decrease in area is 44.99%. So that's it for this lecture. Thank you very much.